Let the light of late afternoon shine through the chinks in the barn, moving up the bales as the sun moves down. This is the start of the poem Let Evening Come by KENYON, and it's a part of a collection of poems called The Art of Losing, poems of grief and healing. And it's something maybe that can help us as we think about what it means to long for our Savior to come from heaven, as we discussed on Sunday. Now on Sunday we talked about the longing that some of us have for that renewed place, that renewed heavens and earth, that place put back the way it was supposed to be, where there is no more death or mourning or crying or pain. And we long for that maybe because of the pain that we have experienced here or the loss of a loved one. And we long for that time when those things will be made right and when we no longer feel and experience that loss. And sometimes it's hard to know how to deal with, or even how to express, or even how to experience that kind of pain and loss. Our society is so good at kind of covering over the losses and the pain that we have and kind of pushing those things to the margin that often we find ourselves avoiding or running away from our pain. And if this is true of you, that you find it difficult to even experience or express the kind of pain that you're going through, I would encourage you to go find someone that can help you through it. First of all, go maybe see a counselor. Don't see that as a last-ditch effort or as something that you only go to when things are really, really bad, because counselors can help, and often counseling helps best before you get to a place where you're overwhelmed with what you're going through. Talk to a pastor, maybe. Talk to an elder. Talk to a really close friend. Go to a program like Grief Share or something like that. Find places that you can go to help place some structure around your experience so you can understand that what you're going through is not weird or odd, and you can see and know that what you experience is the way that we experience things as a human being. But you can also learn some of the pitfalls and some of the problems and stumbling blocks along the way. One of the things that Henry Nouwen argues in his book called The Inner Voice of Love, which he wrote about a journey through anguish to freedom. And his very first one talks about walking around your abyss. He says there's a deep hole in your being, like an abyss. You will never succeed in filling that hole because your needs are inexhaustible. You have to work around it, so that gradually the abyss closes. Since the hole is so enormous and your anguish so deep, you will always be tempted to flee from it. But there are two extremes to avoid: being completely absorbed in your pain and being distracted by so many things that you stay far away from the wound you want to heal. Which I think brings me back to that poem, Let Evening Come. A poem that expresses some of the openness to experiencing the pain that might come when we realize the losses or the end of something that we had longed for. So here is that poem in all of its fullness. Let the light of late afternoon shine through the chinks in the barn, moving up the bales as the sun moves down. Let the cricket take up chafing as a woman takes up her needles and her yarn. Let evening come. Let dew collect on the hoe abandoned in long grass. Let the stars appear and the moon disclose her silver horn. Let the fox go back to its sandy den. Let the wind die down. Let the shed go black inside. Let evening come. To the bottle in the ditch, to the scoop in the oats, to the air in the lung, let evening come. Let it come as it will, and don't be afraid, because God does not leave us comfortless. Even so, let evening come. So may this be an encouragement to you, to not necessarily run away from your pain, but also not to be so absorbed by it that you get lost in it. Cling to God and allow the comfort to come that He desires for you.